This is Paulette on FiveEyes.tv. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Gloria Bailey, who is the chair of the Make a Difference Afro-Caribbean group. Welcome to FiveEyes.tv, Gloria.
Thank you.
Gloria, as a young lady, you emigrated from Jamaica to England in 1954 with your husband Stanford, who sadly passed away over 10 years ago. You raised 7 children of your own and throughout led a very active and full life. Can you tell me about the early days when you first came to England?
Well, my husband and I arrived in this country in 1954, and because we thought there were working opportunities here. When we came, we were disappointed in seeing the place because we saw all these large buildings and thought they were factories, but they were dwelling houses. But we made the best use of it, as long as we were here.
So, where did you first settle when you first came over?
We settled at number 19 Somerleyton Road in Brixton. And we were there for a short while until we were able to get better accommodation.
So did someone invite you over, or was it someone you knew before you came?
We came directly over to my husband's nephew, who had an apartment at 19 Somerleyton Road, and he was the one who accommodated us until we were able to find our own accommodation.
And was that hard? And did that take a long time?
Well, it didn't take very long, but it was very, very difficult knowing that he had to sacrifice his bed for us. But in the end, we were very fortunate in getting our own accommodation.
So at this time, were there a lot of people that came over the same time as you that were trying?
There were hundreds of people who came over at the same time, but we didn't come in the group. We came independently.
Right.
No.
So you were very lucky, really, because lots of people that came over, they had problems finding accommodation in the early days.
Yes, they were very unlucky. But we were very lucky because we came across a very wealthy English man who had a lot of properties that he bought in the auction. And he heard about us and he offered us this property. He said, live there free and let the rooms to people who we know. And that was how we made our great start.
Excellent.
His name is one Mr. Hastilow.
Ah, you were the landlady.
I'll never forget his name. Yes.
So from there you went on to buy your own property?
Exactly. We lived there for a number of years. And then at the end, when he decided that he was going to go away down to the country, I think it was Brighton or Hove, somewhere there, we asked him if he could sell us the one that we were living in, and he said yes. And that's how we made our first start, having our own house.
And where was that?
51 Sandmere Road.
You spent 20 years as a GPO trained telephonist for Thomas Cook Travel and Cunard Shipping Line. Why did you give up full-time work?
I gave up full-time work because I saw the plight of children on the television who needed people to foster them, and I thought I had the ability and the caring thought and caring action in me to help to care for these children.
All right.
So I gave up my job, which was to my satisfaction.
So what made you actually decide that you wanted to foster children?
So that I could give other children an opportunity to live a decent life.
Okay, did someone approach you? Were you prompted? Was it an advert you saw?
Well, I met a lady by the name of Mabel Carter, who had been fostering for a number of years. And she said to me, Gloria Bailey, I have heard about you and I think you've got the ability to care for children. I took her advice. Then she introduced me onto social services, and then it escalated from there.
How many children have you fostered throughout the years?
I fostered approximately 100 children.
100?
I fostered 2 white children for 14 years. And when I took them, it was Lambeth's principle, same race placing. But because I didn't see color, I took those children, and they stayed with me for 14 years. And they both got the Prince's Trust Award, and they've got the certificate of it hanging up in their house.
Oh, that's excellent.
Oh, yes. 14 years. and still in touch. And the boy who, he's got a girlfriend now, and he introduced a girlfriend to me, and she said when they're going to get married, she wants me to walk Marcus down the aisle. I said, but I can't do that. She said, yeah, nobody's going to walk down the aisle because he speaks so highly of you. Well, 14 years, and they were white children.
You've got to walk him down the aisle.
She insists. And he's got a lovely girlfriend. They have never been in trouble, those children. Never.
Well, obviously, with your guidance, you know, that must have helped them immensely.
Yes, definitely. And I treated them the same way that I treated my children. And my husband was a real good foster father as well.
Lovely. So it was a family affair.
Yes.
So, what ages did you foster? Was it a certain age or?
Various ages, from toddlers up to teenagers.
Gosh. And how long did you foster for?
I fostered for approximately 20 years.
Yeah. So really you would make a good advert for, you know, children that are in care that need fostering.
Well, of course.
And adoption.
I used to go around and give lectures to other parents and encourage them, and I think I made a good job of it.
Yeah.
I managed to get quite a few to join, and we linked together and, you know, gave advice to each other, and it worked.
So do you see any of the children that you used to foster?
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yes. I see them, and some of them are parents themselves now. I've got photographs of all of them. And I even happened to rescue a boy who was taken to Sierra Leone after we found his father. Yeah. And after many, many years, and war broke out in Sierra Leone, I got a call at midnight from the High Commissioner saying, "Are you Nan Bailey?" Because all my foster children call me Nan. And I said, "You're calling from Sierra Leone. What is all this about?" He says, "Well, we're sending out all the British subjects because the war is raging over here. And this young man has been to say, I'm a British subject. I was born at King's College Hospital, but I don't know if my father got killed in the war. But he can remember the phone number of the late person who fostered him. And she's called Nan Bailey." I said, without any hesitation, please put him on the next plane, which he did. And he came straight over to me. And we took the BBC cameras to the airport to meet him, and it was filmed from the airport straight into my house.
Oh, all these things must make you feel really good.
Wonderful.
To think that you've helped
and this is a story
people.
that I tell everywhere I go.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely story.
Yes, it is.
So, Gloria, the gun and knife crime with the youngsters killing and hurting each other, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel ever so sad and wonder what is the reason for this. I think some of them have really lost their sense of direction.
Yeah.
And it is a very, very distressing situation.
So what do you think that could be done that could get them back on track? What do you think is needed?
I think it needs a whole community as much as possible to try and get hold of some of these youngsters and do things to cultivate their minds.
Yeah, and
get them actively employed.
Right, yeah, but even so, have good role models.
Yes, that is necessary.
Because I remember growing up, you know, there was always a community spirit around, and there was always somebody you could go to or speak to.
Well, of course, yes. And some of these parents, they've got to work hard. Some of them have experienced broken marriages, and therefore, you know, it causes a gap in the family, and some children take it to heart and just go astray.
Yeah.
Take their revenge on others.
Yeah, it's just so sad because, you know, I'm sure some of them would like to be doing something.
Well, of course, they just need to be encouraged.
And guided.
And guided. They need a lot of guidance.
Well, you were a parent governor of Norwood Girls' Schools. How did that happen? And are you still a parent governor?
Yes, I'm still a governor there. And I go there quite often to participate in various things such as prize giving and to give speeches. I've taken some of the ladies from my group to talk to the children about how we were brought up, which I think is very, very necessary.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful.
You know, probably in schools, I think there should be more community involvement. You know,
Definitely.
things like what you've just mentioned. I think that goes a long way.
A very long way. And it is very necessary.
Yeah, I think it's nice when you hear about other people's experience.
That's
and,
right, yeah.
you know, the past, etc., and how people had to cope. You know, life wasn't
Yes.
easy for you when you first came over.
Oh, not at all, not at all. And the children are very, very eager to know how we were brought up. They ask us questions and we answer them, and they appreciate it.
This is Paulette on fiveeyes.tv. We'll be back shortly. Can you tell me about the different organisations that you have been a part of?
Is CSV RSVP. RSVP is Retired Senior Volunteers Program.
Yeah.
It involves dealing with children, the older people, going to functions and getting the community together.
Excellent.
And I've done that for over 20 years.
I think a lot more of these things should be publicised, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a large publicity about RSVP, CSV. It's worldwide at the moment. It spreads.
Yeah, but I think still for the amount of work you've done, and you say you've been involved in it for over 20 years.
Over 20 years, which I have certificates to show.
So how would people know about it or get involved?
Well, there are magazines and leaflets all over the place. And there are branches of this CSV RSVP. We have Bristol.
Yeah.
We have even in Nottingham and Brixton. It's quite popular in Brixton, Camberwell, all around the country.
So are the adverts in the library? How would one...
In the library and in magazines. And different various magazines. It is widespread.
You seem to be so busy.
Yes.
You are the originator of numerous community initiative events such as school clubs, Black History events, Remembrance Days, celebrating lots of different things.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about
I think
these
that's
events?
wonderful. Because when I went to the Darby&Joan Club, there was nothing like that was taking place. And I thought it was a good idea to have these celebrations to get people together, getting the community together. And it's just amazing how we have, because of these celebrations, that we're able to get the community together. When we are celebrating like Commonwealth, Black History, etc., end of war, we have over 200 people attending. And it's so wonderful, and people each year look forward to it.
Excellent. So how did you get involved in the Darby&Joan Club?
Well, after my husband died and I sold my house in the Brixton area, I moved into the Streatham area. And I asked because I was so actively employed in the Brixton area, I asked one of the neighbours, is there a club around where I could get involved? They said, there is a Darby&Joan Club, but they've never seen black people going there. And I clapped my hands and said, that's where I'm going.
That's a good challenge.
I've given this to every function I go to. I make sure I mention this. And when I went there, there's all these elderly white people. They play the bingo, and there's luncheon club and sing song. They welcomed me with open arms. Then after a while, I was asked, would I like to become a member? Then I joined. And would you like to be one of the executives? Yes, I joined.
Nice.
And I said to the manager, we could do something at this place to make a difference. And suddenly, it clicked on my brain, that could be the title. So it became Make a Difference. Then Age Concern heard about us, and they came in. So we are now since then we've been under one umbrella, Darby&Joan, Age Concern, and Make a Difference.
Wow.
So we work together and celebrate everything together.
That's excellent.
And it has taken off in a great way.
That's excellent.
Yes. We've got so much of the community together.
Yeah. So how many members have joined since you've been there?
Approximately 100, if not more.
Wow.
Quite a few. And my little Make a Difference group, I've got a group of elderly women,
Yeah.
and it's about 30. And every last Thursday in each month, we meet together and make plans and do various things. We do Keep Fit.
Oh.
We set up a little choir, and we do a lot of befriending.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes. And that has taken off wonderful.
Because there's so many elderly people, and I'm sure they'd love to get involved in things, but they don't know how, they need encouragement.
We encourage some of them who we know to come out, and they do come out, and they really like to be with us. If it's even just to sit and talk, you know, but I find that the befriending is very, very useful.
And important.
Yes. And what I've always said to these people, forget about your pain when you come here.
Yes.
A lot of them get their pension.
Yeah.
They sit at home, worry about a little pain in their shoulders, in their arms, and say, come out.
Good.
And meet people. And it's amazing how it helps.
Yes, because you still need to stimulate the
brain.
brain.
Of course. And we've been doing that quite successfully.
So do you organise many trips for these people?
Oh, yes. We arrange a lot of trips to the seaside.
Oh.
And we have barbecue. Everyone come out in the garden, and we have fun, and there's music, and people look forward to it.
Yes, because just because you get older, your life doesn't have to stop.
No, not at all. That's the time when you have extra time to get on, to pursue other things.
Yes, and do all the things you couldn't do when you were younger, because you could have been busy raising a family.
Yes.
Well, Gloria, you received a Lambeth Civic Award in 2003 for services to the community. Can you tell the viewers how that came about?
2003? Which one was that?
Well, you've probably received so many awards.
I've got so many awards.
Well, tell me about your awards anyway, in general.
Well, one was for the children fostering.
Yeah.
That was one that I am very proud of. One for London Community Award. One for, which was that?
I can see the Lambeth Civic Awards up there.
Lambeth Civic Award, yes.
And I can see one Certificate of Merit awarded to the Make a Difference Club.
Yes. And there's another one on CSV. Did I mention CSV?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I mentioned that one. And there's another one there from the
Experience Corps.
Experience Corps.
Yeah.
That was a very widespread one.
Caribbean Celebration Evening. But you've also...
And I've also got Woman of the Year Award.
Wow. That's what I was just about to say.
Woman of the Year Award, which I greatly
excellent.
appreciate.
Yes.
Yes.
And tell me, what did you receive in 2010?
In the year 2010 was when my most cherished dream I achieved, and is to get the MBE member of the British Empire. It was last year, December 2009, when I saw this letter dropped in my letterbox from the House of Commons, and when I opened it, I screamed.
Gosh.
Because it says you have been mentioned to receive an award from the Queen.
That is excellent.
And I was so delighted. And then when I told my family, then we all got together and we celebrated. Before I even got it, we celebrated. But it was a great, great honor. And a reward for things that I have accomplished. Not on my own, but with the help of my family and friends in my group, which I'm very proud of, and is something I will always cherish.
That's lovely, because you've been a person that has always been involved in things, helping people, putting on events, and I suppose really that just rubber stamps it.
Yes, it does. And a lot of people in authority have really, you know, let me feel greatly appreciated. The MP and the mayors. And each year, I am one of those who participate in laying the wreath at Streatham Common.
Yes.
you know, at the memorial. And I think that was a great, great privilege as well. You know, I'm always called upon to lay a wreath there.
Well, I felt honoured a couple of years ago when I attended your 80th birthday party, and just looking around at all the people there, some very, very important people were there.
Yes.
To you know, celebrate your birthday.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you felt having that party?
I felt very pleased, and I was happy, and was highly appreciative of people who made the effort to come, from the lowest right up.
Yes, because
you know,
everybody.
And my managers are extremely proud of me. You know, and it helped me to take a retrospective view of the past when I was really sort of just having children and caring for other people's children, and to know that I broadened my horizon by, you know, setting up all these clubs and getting people together, and to know that it was greatly appreciated. And with all these important people coming along, let me feel that my birthday was worthwhile. Let me really appreciated my birthday.
Well, one person stands out is, I think he's the MP now for Streatham.
Oh yes, he's a wonderful person. And Chucker is his name, and he's extremely proud of me, and he took me along with this one from Age Concern to the number 10 Downing Street. And there were so many councillors there, and he took me right through the crowd and introduced me to everybody, and we had photographs taken with Brown and his wife. I wish I've got photographs to show.
Oh, that's
nice. So I was really, really delighted. And at that time I wore my MBE badge.
Well, why not?
That's nice, you know. But it's such a privilege and such an honor when one can contribute a lot to the community.
Yes, which you certainly have done.
And we need a lot more of that.
Yeah.
You know, because getting people together goes a very long way.
Yeah. I mean, there are some lonely people out there.
Very lonely ones.
And the thing is, you know, if they could come together and do something.
That's right.
But sometimes I think some people need a bit more encouragement than others.
Yes. They make excuses, but you just have to keep on at them.
I mean, everybody's different.
That's
and obviously some people are more extroverted
but
than
never
others.
give up on anybody.
No.
Always, you know.
And I truly believe in that.
And sometimes you even have to condescend to their level. Some people may say, oh dear, you're doing this, you're doing that. I can't do this, I can't do that. But you let them know, we're all one, we can do things together.
Exactly.
That togetherness goes a long way.
Yeah.
I think for me the special thing about Gloria is that she isn't one of those armchair whingers. She actually gets up off the chair and does things in the community, and also shows leadership. You know, she's got her Make a Difference group here, which she's very much built up and taking a lead in, which provides a lot of happiness and a lot of positivity in the community. And I think for me, a younger politician starting out, she's very much a role model and an example, and for that I'm very, very grateful, Gloria. And you know, when you get tired doing what I do, and politics can be a very dirty game, it's people like Gloria who inspire me to strive to go out there to improve the community and also improve, you know, myself and the way I do things. She's an example, so thanks a lot.
Gloria, I have to ask you, who inspired you?
Well, I think this inspiration starts from when I was a child, my father, my parents. When I was leaving Jamaica, my father said, when you go to a foreign country, 3 words will keep you going: how to live. And I never forget what my father said: you must know how to live and how to cooperate with people.
Yes.
And I was greatly inspired by my children as well. And other officials that I associated myself with, because I've always been brought up to always learn to mix with people who are worthwhile.
Yes.
And I made sure that I associated myself with people who can give me advice and people who can lead me along and encourage me to carry on what I want to do.
Yeah, and this is what you're giving back.
Yes, I'm giving it back wholeheartedly.
I can see that.
And I'm just hoping and praying that my health will continue, that I'll be able to do a lot more, which I intend to.
Good, good. So, Gloria, I have to ask you now, how do you relax? Because you seem like such a busy person. Do you get time to relax, have some time to yourself?
There's one day in the week that I don't go to my club.
Yeah.
That's on a Tuesday. That's my relaxation day. And at the end of the day, after I've had my supper and have a nice bath, I go to my bedroom with a little drop of scotch. And I watch my television and I'm at peace.
Oh.
But that's how I relax.
Do you listen to music?
I seldom listen to a lot of music. It depends.
You probably haven't got any
But
time.
I'm more watching the television.
Oh.
Yeah, I got my special programs, which I'm interested in.
Oh.
And that takes my mind off a lot of things. Occasionally during the day, when I'm at home, I would have at least one or two of the ladies from my group to come and have tea. It's not like come dine with me on the television because they're not doing that properly. But we have tea and have a little chat and probably a glass of wine.
Oh,
and
that's lovely.
it keeps me going.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, Gloria Bailey, it was a pleasure speaking with you. You are truly inspirational and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, my dear.
Obviously making you keep young as well.
And you know what? I got a lot of inspiration from you. Knowing from you were going to school, you're a great inspiration, and I'm wishing you all the very best.
Oh,
you
thank
wouldn't
you.
realize how inspirational you are.
Oh, thank you.
And your husband as well, and your family.
Thank you.
God bless you.
And that is lovely coming from a person like
bless
you. Thank you very
Well, you
much.
deserve it. Wholeheartedly.
Today on FireEyes.tv, I've been speaking with Gloria Bailey, who has done so much in her life to help people. She's truly inspirational and has been a mentor to many in the black community.